Hello everyone, Johnny Miner here. And today we are continuing to learn Japanese with Star Fox, the Super Famicom version. Last time we started level 3, so yeah, the final course. And technically finished it, but yeah, because actually we got the extra alternative bad, clearly based on what we have seen, ending. But yeah, today we'll actually continue properly level 3, maybe even finish it, and so the series depends on how long it will take. But yeah, without further ado, let's start. Yeah, we'll start today with Fortuna. Okay, no, actually there are more levels, as you can see, so yeah, it might take us 2 episodes, but yeah, let's start. The planet Fortuna. Yeah, might take us longer, also considering that, yeah, as you can see, we have a lot to check here. And of course, these are new, yeah, should be completely new, unlike some other ones that, despite the different locations, it was the same. But yeah, the planet Fortuna, and first and foremost, well, actually, as you can see, there aren't periods here. We'll see if that's actually the case or not. Fortuna wa kyodai seibutsu ga seisoku suru shizen ni megumareta hoshi da ga, Andorfu wa この巨大生物を操り始めたようだ。Yeah, actually, yeah. Because we have seen that there are periods in this shown in this game. They become simply dots, unlike in usually in Japanese where they are small circles instead. But yeah, so it is actually a full big sentence. We'll see why. Well, first and foremost, we have simply Fortuna. 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 Yeah. Simply adapted into Japanese. Notice again the or sounds that become simply the long vowel o. Yeah, similar to English varieties that don't have the R sounds. Yeah, then chu for the two. I don't think I'll find it straight up. Well, it's worth mentioning that technically, yeah, the Fortuna, as in the goddess, that I could find in the dictionary, in the online dictionary, but it's actually Fortuna. It's based on Roman goddess, so yeah, based on the pronunciation in Latin, so yeah, Fortuna. While this one is clearly the English pronunciation. Yeah, can see the accent also of that. My guess would be, yeah, like on the two, but oh well. Then we have the topic particle wa, written as a ha. So as for Fortuna, this planet. Kyodai, first and foremost, which means giant, huge. Well, better technically is first and foremost an adjective. Can also be a noun, but yeah. an adjective which means huge, gigantic, enormous. The die, by the way, yeah, it's the kanji for big we have already studied. Chinese compound and lucky is an accent like most of those are. Then, after it, we have seibutsu. Yeah, you might have already guessed another Chinese compound. This one actually based, I think we might have seen it before in this series or something along those lines anyway. Chinese compound should be an accent like those usually are. No, actually this is one of those accents on the first more. So yeah, seibutsu. Okay, makes sense. The second most common accent for those, and yeah, also, yeah, pretty sure I've actually heard it before. It's actually a Chinese compound that is composed of kanji we have studied. The se is the one for to live. Here, living, then simply the kanji for ikiru and so on. Yeah, Chinese reading se, the most common one. Sho is also used as a reminder. And then butsu, it's actually the kanji for mono, thing. So literally living thing. And then from there, organism, creature, life. Life has in those meanings. Yeah, literally living thing. Also in Japanese, so yeah, perfect translation to remember it also. And yeah, so actually, in this case, I'd say it becomes a bigger Chinese compound of 4 characters by combining these 2 smaller ones of the classical, usual 2 characters. And so most certainly we should apply the rules of those, and we have seen usually those are accented on the first mora of the second word part of the compound. So yeah, on the se here, luckily actually also like seibutsu on its own. By the way, as a reminder, ei in contemporary Japanese, well, standard Japanese is long e. In other varieties is still a, but yeah, you can go with either. So yeah, Kyodai seibutsu, cioè gigantic living thing, gigantic organisms, I would say most likely plural, more than one, but we'll see. Then we have the subject particle ga. Then we have seisoku, another Chinese compound, as you might have guessed, even more so if you have recognized when I also pronounce it over, if you are now used to katakana, the suru after it, so yeah, another Chinese compound then turn into a noun in this case, as in most cases, turn into a verb by adding suru. To do, unaccented, yeah. Cioè, literally to do whatever the meaning of that verb, of that Chinese compound is, and simply the verb. Yeah, in our case, here is seisoku means inhabiting, living. Yeah, better technically living, because actually the se of seisoku, yeah, it's again the kanji of ikiru, unaccented, as most of those are. Yeah, so technically living, more in the sense of so yeah, turned into a verb by adding suru, as already mentioned. After it, we have technically, it stops there. We have seen a verb, But yeah, no, the sentence doesn't stop there. But immediately after, we don't have the usual now because, yeah, you might have guessed classical relative clause verb in attributive position before the noun it modifies, which is referred to. And yeah, that's the case, but we don't have the noun immediately because we'll see why in a second. First, we have shizen. We have seen for sure. No, okay, we haven't seen either, I think, but I actually the Zen not yet, even though it's quite useful. Yeah, we'll see when it comes up in a series. The she, I don't think either. I'm just thinking of words that have come up. It's actually the same G, but yeah, notice the difference in one voice, the one we've seen more in Jibun. This one, she, two different readings, clearly related of the same kanji. But yeah, no, don't think we have actually checked it yet. We'll see it when it comes up. This one, but yeah. So yeah, shizen, Chinese compound as usual, unaccented like most of those. First and foremost, technically a noun, nature. Technically, because we've seen the G with the meaning oneself, Zen is the one, I think I've mentioned it at least with the pronunciation of, while in translation with the not yet state form, Irialis form, but yeah, not yet state, because yeah, this Zen is the state. Better would be other translation sort of thing, and so on. But yeah, so technically, one's state, quote unquote, so then it becomes nature. We could say as in one's natural state in a way. Most likely it's because of that. Or at least, at the very least, as a mnemonic. But yeah, not just nature, it can also be used actually as an adjective. And yeah, so natural. Here, after it, we have a ni. So yeah, technically, the particle, or as I mentioned, could technically be the continuative form of the classical copula nari, from which the na of adjectives also comes with a contraction, and a continuative form, so yeah, literally being natural. But yeah, nowadays considered also potentially straight up a particle, but with the meaning, it's how you may turn adjectives, and also for adjectives into adverbs, cioè naturally. While actually in this case it's not even that. It's actually the noun. I've noticed it after because yeah, it's required by the following verb. So here ni is a particle with the meaning by. Although technically it could technically be again the copula, but yeah, it's with the meaning by here. So it's the noun by nature. Yeah, because after it we have the verb megumareta. Megumareta comes from megumu. You might have heard before megumi, the corresponding the continuative form of the verb, of course, as usual. and so the corresponding noun maybe as a given name. In that case, it would be a female given name. But yeah, let's go in order. Megumu, actually unaccented, so yeah, megumu means to bless. Yeah, here clearly in the sense of blessed, be blessed, as we'll see in a second, by nature. But yeah, to bless in general, technically. But yeah, as mentioned, we can change the U into E. It's a U verb colon verb, so U into E to make the corresponding, the continuative form, and so the corresponding noun. Megumi means blessing, grace, unaccented, follows the rules, luckily. Here, though, we change the U into A, and then add reru, we can see the ru because of further conjugation, to make the passive form of the verb. And yeah, so because of that, be blessed by nature. The further conjugation, well, passive forms are verb system verbs, so we can drop the ru to make the continuative form, and in this case, simply to then attach the ta, and so make the ta form of the verb, past form of the verb in plain speech. Here, because then we have finally the noun to which both these relative clauses are referred to. Yeah, so got blessed, we could say, by nature. And yeah, the noun to which these are referred to is hoshi. Hoshi is actually, that word we have already seen. We've even studied its kanji, which means a star. Star, in this case, in general, by extension, heavenly body in general, so actually also planet. We've seen it also in the compounds. I'm pretty sure I've mentioned some of them at least, of compounds of the names of planets in Japanese, and they use this kanji. So from star, more specifically. Worth mentioning, as actually says also the online dictionary, usually excluding the sun. By extension, heavenly body in general, so including planet, usually excluding Earth, because yeah, usually those have more specific terms. This is more of a generic term, more specifically for stars, than heavenly body in general, so also planets. Yeah, in our case, planet, as it says straight up on top. Being a noun, I forgot to mention again that it's unaccented, but yeah, we have studied it. It's a noun, so we have after it the copula da. And then we have this ga, which is a conjunction, which means but. And yeah, in this case, it could simply be but. In other contexts, can be translated also as and we have seen it, one of its usage, pretty common actually in Japanese, is to first say an introductory remark, and then the rest of the sentence. Here both, but yeah, we can simply keep it as a but. After it, we have, and now you can see between the two relative clauses, and now here we have the but, connecting it to the rest. Yeah, you can see why we got this really big sentence here. Yeah, after it we have Andorufu, Andros' Japanese name, topic particle 1. Kono, the usual part of the ko-so-do series, ko close to both the speaker and the listener, so far from the speaker close to the listener, far from both. Do the interrogative, ko-so are usually an accented, do accent on do itself. With the no, we get a demonstrative adjective, so yeah, these or these. Actually could be these, plural, depend, because I suppose there are more than one, followed by something, by a noun. In our case, immediately we have, well, it technically could be considered straight up a noun because it's a bigger compound. Yeah, it's again kyodai seibutsu, we have already seen. Yeah, these or these gigantic living things, huge living things. It's a plural unless we see that it's technically only one. Doesn't make sense based on the context, but we'll see. Then we have the object particle o, written as one, pronounced as such in careful speech and also singing. Then we have ayatsuri. Well, technically, ayatsuri hajimeta. Yeah, first and foremost from ayatsuru. Now we have even studied its kanji thanks to this very series. And yeah, it means, well, in this case, as I mentioned, the fundamental meaning would technically be manipulate. Then nowadays simply also more in general as in to operate, to handle, to manage, or with the meaning still used also in English for manipulate, manipulate a person and so on. So yeah, actually in our case, it's this meaning here based on the context. Ayatsuru, as you have seen, accented, u verb become a verb, so we can change the u into e, make the continuative form. In this case, to attach the second verb part of the compound, hajimeru. I have seen it before, more often on its own, but in this series, I think, maybe also elsewhere, but I think we have seen it before also in this very series. We have started to see, funny considering that it means to start, to begin, this verb. We have seen that when added as the second verb of part of the compound, it simply means as meaning to start, begin, doing the action of the verb, the first verb part of the compound. So simply that. Hajimeru, unaccented. Ru verb is a verb, so we can simply drop the ru, continuative form, then to attach simply the ta, make that ta form, past form of the verb in plain speech. Required here technically because then we'll add yo, strictly speaking a noun, so again would be a relative clause. But here, more often than not, simply used as an expression, as we have seen. Yo has various meaning, form, style, method, way to, and so on. When used though after, those meanings I mentioned are more after, respectively, form, style, design. And so then simply in general, like, similar to. After nouns, after a verbs but in the continuative form, the mass stem of a verb, way to, method of doing, or appearing, looking, whatever that verb says. Here after the terminal form, well, more correctly would be technically the attributive form, but they aren't usually distinguished in contemporary Japanese. So after the dictionary form in the present, ta form in the past, it has the meaning more like it seems, And yeah, so it's a word meaning here, but yeah, as mentioned, your technically noun, and yeah. After it, last but not least, we have the copula da. And yeah, so we can finally fully translate this. Yeah, so he's saying, General Pepper here, as for Fortuna, it's a planet where gigantic living things live, and blessed by nature. But as for Andros, it seems that he's he started manipulating these gigantic living things. So yeah, we have finally translated it, and we can so start playing the game.
Good luck.
Yeah. So here we are. Okay, these look more like flowers. So living, living things. So yeah, technically including those. So yeah, already we should have the plural. Yeah, which made more sense. So yeah, these the usual. Here, Falco being chased. But yeah, we got rid of the enemy on his tail. Okay, apart from me there hitting the ground, there are some things that I'm not sure when they hit me here. I'd rather not hit our teammates if possible. Do some rolling, as it's called in Japanese, to reflect the projectiles. But we still need to avoid. Okay, nice that we have here now. First we had that ground section. Well, we are flying, but there was the ground. Now we have water. So nice that we get to see also these. Funny enough, there first and foremost actually hit, well, actually twice, once before defeating the enemy, and once after hit poor Sleepy. Well, of course doesn't help that he straight up went practically in front of me, especially the first time. Yeah, this kind of seems like it makes you invisible. I don't remember exactly how it... okay, I think, yeah, it technically is an additional shield there. Don't think we got hit. Notice, you might have noticed the different color of the bar there. Okay, yeah, this is the life, an extra life, which we might need if with simply rewind to save progress, if possible, but yeah, even that might not be enough in certain situations. So yeah, the more lives we have, the better, considering that this is the most difficult level course. Okay, there I hit Peppy myself. There I healed, perfect. Although funny enough, this for now, well, apart from some of these obstacles, not that bad of a level. Well, it makes sense considering though that well, it's the still the third level of well, third stage, sorry. Level is the name of these courses in this game. So actually, funny enough, now that I think about it, pretty sure that should be the. And by the way, we have the boss here. Oof. Okay, there I think Falco says something, but yeah, the Kirby convention of naming worlds as levels, but yeah. Yeah, here the boss appeared before there wasn't anything. Okay, I think I have to hit the tail there and the face potentially. Okay, yeah. So Falco here is saying, is telling us a tip. Because it's saying Kubito Shippo o Mijikaku Surunda. First and foremost, Kubi. I think we might have seen it before, but yeah. Regardless, it's a body part. One of those unaccented, this one, okay. Kubi means neck. This is the fundamental meaning nowadays in contemporary Japanese. By extension, and it's still found in certain words, head by extension. But yeah, so keep it in mind. I think actually, if I recall correctly, originally was head and then it became neck, but yeah. Nowadays, it's the other way around, fundamentally. First and foremost, neck, and then also head. Then we have the to, the particle which means with. Also, as we have seen as the quoting particle, so technically with, and before it a quotation. But here in its more classical usage, with the neck. Or even better, technically in this case, as an end to connect two nouns. So literally would be with that, the first noun, and then the second one. But yeah, we can simply translate it as and in English. Then we have shippo. Yeah, no, this one I know we have seen for sure, maybe even in this series, but I'm not sure. We have seen it for sure in the Pokemon if I read our other current Let's Learn Japanese with series, because yeah, shippo, accent on the last more, is technically a compound. It means tail, but we can also luckily still accent on the last more, so like other body parts, technically. Yeah, literally it combines the term for buttocks, bottom, shiri. That one also accented on the last more, so yeah, you can see even more how the body parts usually are accented like that. And then we have o on its own. Nowadays in Japanese, here has a po. Wonder if it originally was po, and then it got changed into o because of the evolution of the language, could be, even though it's weird based on what I've seen. But yeah, regardless, o accent on the last more on its own, yeah. That on its own would mean tail of an animal. By extension, also other tails of a kite, for example, tail end. Tail of a comet, yeah, tail. Yeah, so literally this compound, which is the term nowadays more often than not used for tail of an animal. Yeah, literally bottom, buttocks, tail. Yeah. Yeah, here we have the neck, potentially actually head by extension in this case. And tail. So I think it has two heads and one tail here, but we'll see it better when we see it again when we continue playing. Then we have the object particle o. Then we have mijikaku, which comes from a I adjective, mijikai, which, funny enough, despite actually being pretty long, means short. Yeah, it's longer than the adjective which means long, which is nagai. But yeah, funny enough, if you think about it, by the weirdness of it, could serve as a mnemonic. I think actually mijikai could be a compound. Seems literally based on a surface yeah, my guess would have been it isn't mentioned, and it's actually not clear, according at least to the explanation on Wiktionary, because actually it's not clear because based on how it was written. At first, based on simply the sum, you could think mi plus chikai. No, that isn't the case because it was straight up mi z. G, so yeah, G with the she with the duck 10 with the voicing. Kai, actually kashi at the time, classical Japanese form of E adjectives. Yeah, seems like a compound. Unfortunately, it's not clear the origin. The Kai is suspicious, as it's found also in other compounds. But it's not related actually to the Ka found in na adjectives, like Shizuka, quiet, and so on. But yeah, simply the best way to remember it, apart from of course seeing it more, is that weirdly enough it's long, but it actually means short, and yeah, nagai, which means long, actually is shorter than it. Both accented, by the way. Yeah. E adjective, so we can drop the E. To then add a Q, make the continuative form. In this case, required, as we see by the following suru. Want to mention that, again, being accented with, when we add a Q, when drop the E, add the Q, the accent moves on the third to last mora, instead of staying on the second to last mora, similar actually to the te form as we have seen. So in this case should be actually mijikaku instead of mijikai, low, high, high, low, in its dictionary form here, low, high, low, low. But yeah, required by suru, literally to do. Yeah, when used with the ku form of the adjectives. Adverbial forms in general, we could also use with the ni, with an adjectives. We get the meaning to make it whatever the meaning of that adjective is, to make it shorter here, and so actually shorter. As we have seen, the comparative is usually not expressed in Japanese. Yeah, we don't conjugate adjectives to make them to make the comparative. We keep them as is, and then you can tell based on the context. Even more so when we have a term of comparison with yori. Then, yeah, also here I'd say. We have seen one way to technically add the meaning more with motto. But yeah, more often than not, the adjective can stay on its own with a comparative meaning. So yeah. Last but not least, we have nda. and yeah, we have the nominalizer for verbs, thing as in fact, no, here contracted into and then the copula da, cioè literally it is that, the fact is that, the explanation is that, and so on. Another an expression we have seen quite used in Japanese. So yeah, here Falco is saying it is that in the sense then that you, well, we in general, technically, from his point of view, but yeah, you, the player, then should make these creatures neck or head, potentially actually two, based on how it is, and a tail shorter. Cioè, it's a tip. Yeah. Oh yeah, the tail I had noticed well. Okay, I do think... oh no, okay, it's straight up a neck, perfect, as usual. But yeah, as I mentioned, technically it is... the original meaning, I do think it's, if I recall correctly, it is a head. But yeah, nowadays, more often than not, apart from certain things. Okay, these eggs, funny enough. Yeah, the usual stuff reminds of Yoshi eggs immediately. Yeah, there I got some beating, but actually defeated the enemy pretty easily. At the end, but yeah. So it was shortening the tail and the neck, and yeah, by doing that you decreased its health and we defeated it pretty easily. So funny enough, not that bad of a stage, despite being level 3. We didn't rewind at all. Oh yeah, so good. Better that way. Okay, considering this, I'd say we can take the usual break now. Around 5 minutes, most likely slightly less, so that when we'll be back we can start with the briefing, most likely, and sector Z or Z, depending on how you pronounce it. But yeah, see you in around 5 minutes. And we are back. And yeah, so we can continue. And yeah, tackle sector Z or Z, depending on your pronunciation of that. We'll see if this briefing actually is new. I think, yeah, okay, I am pretty sure it's new. The first part might be similar, if not identical to other ones, but we'll simply translate it. Well, as you have seen, as a reminder, in Japanese, the letter Z, yeah, it's pronounced Zeddo. Some then pronounce it technically as Zetto, because, especially in the past, because it wasn't typical to have those double consonants with a voiced consonant and also the voiced consonant at the end. So yeah. But yeah, nowadays I will say simply Zeddo, but yeah, you might find the other variant. But yeah, so in Japanese, as a reminder, yeah, it's Z, not Z. But yeah, the accent should be like in English, but I don't find it for the Zeddo. Yeah, funny enough, I find it for the Zetto. So yeah, you can see how it technically was more common also based on that. But yeah, technically both exist. Yeah, by the way, I think it was Dragon Ball Zetto with the unvoiced with the to. But yeah, regardless. Here, General Pepper says, "Oh, Genki de atta ka Fox kun." First and foremost, we have "oh." So yeah, straight up, simply an exclamation like "oh" in English. Here, written with "o" with the long vowel mark after it. But yeah, usually written simply with double O, actually. O. But yeah, there are all the variants technically mentioned by the dictionary. Also OU, which becomes long O because of the rule in contemporary Japanese. Long O, the O in hiragana with the long vowel mark, even though usually it's used with katakana. And then simply this one, katakana with long vowel mark. But yeah, so simply O. Then we have Genki, an adjective which we have already seen before. Don't remember if also in this very series, Chinese compound, accent on the first more, this one. Yeah, as you have seen, more often than not, those unaccented. But those accents on the first more are still pretty common. Yeah. Here is another example of it. The accents that aren't those two are more rare. Some exist, as we have seen, some of them already. But yeah. Genki means, well, the original meaning most likely is full of spirit or something related to that, because based on the kanji it uses, literally would be original spirit. Yes, the key is the usual spirit, mind. We have seen unaccented, the key. the one found also in martial arts, in Chinese ones as qi. But yeah. An adjective which has the means full of spirit, so then lively, energetic, vigorous, by extension also healthy, in good health, as actually used in the expression ogenki, usually also with the honorific prefix, unless it gets shortened and so on. Ogenki desu ka? Yeah, the fundamental way to ask literally, are you in good health? Are you healthy? Is how are you? Used how you use how are you in English. I wanted to see, incidentally, I think this one, unfortunately, I don't think I can find it. I think in this case the accent doesn't change, luckily, even with the honorific prefix, which we have seen can turn words. Usually we have seen them into unaccented. But yeah, we'll see. Unfortunately, can't confirm it here. Not sure if I find it straight up even in the physical dictionary that. But yeah. An adjective, so. After it, yeah, if we had a noun after it, we would have na. At the end of a sentence, so actually here, as we'll see in a second, we have the copula. Here in particular, we have the atta. The atta is from the aru, a form of the copula. Well, first and foremost, the de is technically speaking that a form of da, the usual form of the copula in plain speech. We have seen it so much, or even in this episode alone. In this case, we have aru after it, the verb which means to be as in to exist on its own, of inanimate things, objects, concepts, and so on. Also used for conjugation, as we can see here, for this form, a peculiar form of the copula. We have seen it also in conjugation of the adjectives, for example, as a reminder. But yeah, this de aru is a more formal, if not straight up literary, form of the copula, and yeah, it's quite found, for example, in books. For example, yeah, it's the structure. I don't remember if straight up in also some of the dictionaries I've checked out here. Also on the channel, for example, the etymology one we have seen. But yeah, found in books, especially when you want to be more formal. While technically still use the plain speech instead of the polite speech in mass and so on, des for the copula. But yeah, so we have this de aru. Aru, verb go and verb, so we can conjugate it. It's verb go and verb in ru, so it becomes double consonant ta for the ta form. Again, first we changed it into the u into i, ari, to then attach the ta, so the continuative form to attach the ta. But then the ifel, arta, difficult to pronounce, simply double consonant ta, at. And yeah, so here the at, past form of this form of the copula. After it, we have the interrogative particle ka. Here, technically, not straight up a question, as you can see at the end here, we have an exclamation mark. So it's actually more like, so you were, healthy in our case. Then before the end we have Fox-kun again. Fox, the name of our protagonist. Kun as the suffix. The one usually the most common usage is after the name of a male of equal or lower status. In certain contexts, can also be after the name of a female of lower status, used by males in formal settings. I have actually heard it pretty recently while playing on my own. I think in Persona 3, actually. Yeah, that's where I think I've heard it. Where without going too much into detail, one of the teachers uses kun as a suffix also for some of your female companions. For example, I think Kirijo-kun for Kirijo. But yeah, we'll see it such usage when we get to play other games like that, like those. Not anytime soon. Those, if ever, considering how difficult they are. But yeah, I'm full of kanji also in that case. But yeah, and also difficult in general for the language. But yeah. So yeah, here simply is saying, oh, so you were healthy, or more in general, vigorous fox. Then General Pepper says, Awin wa kowarete orandaro ne. Yeah, first we have Arwin simply, topic particle wa. Then we have kowarete first. Well, technically it's kowarete owaran. We can stop there, though we have another addition then, but let's go in order. First and foremost, kowarete from kowareru. I think we have seen before, I don't remember if kowareru also, could be also in this series if we have seen it. Kowasu we have seen for sure, which means to, or at least I've mentioned it, which means to destroy. To break, to destroy. And I think we have straight up seen it. And also put in this series that Kowasu. Kowareru is the intransitive, cioè intransitive in Reru, well, in Eru in this case, transitive in Asu, well, technically simply in Su, because Kowareru, Kowasu, the one is the su is suspiciously potentially related to the causative form. Regardless, yeah, these are the two. Cioè, in our case, the intransitive, to be broken. Other similar meanings, for example, to break down, to stop working, and so on. To be broken, or also simply to be damaged in general. Accented. Kowareru. Ru verb is and verb, so we can drop the ru to make the continuative form. And then add the te to make the te form. Te form, in this case, is required because then we add oran from oru. Oru, we have seen, is the, in standard Japanese, the humble form of iru, oru accented, iru unaccented. both mean to be, as in to exist, of animate things, unlike aru. So this one, people and animals. In Kansai dialect, we have seen, or at least I've already mentioned, used straight up instead of iru, usually. But yeah, after that, the form of a verb, iru or oru, are used to with the meaning continuing action or state. So to be doing the action of the verb or to have add what the verb says. While in our case is technically the state has been broken, has been damaged. Oru is a u verb, common verb, so we can change the u into a to make the already mentioned Irialis form, not the state form, negative base, we could simply say in contemporary Japanese, form of the verb. More often than not, to add the nai, the adjective, the e adjective with the meaning non-existent, also used to make the negative forms of verbs. Here we have this n instead, most likely actually a contraction of a classical form of the negative in, a form of the negative in classical Japanese. Regardless, yeah, it's a contraction, and it's simply another way to have a negative form. After it, because it doesn't stop there, we have daro, which we have seen is a peculiar form of the copula. It's the conjectural form, dubitative. Also, I've seen, don't remember if in English I might be translating it from from Italian and so on, but regardless, conjectural form. Straight up in that sense, so it has the means I wonder, and so on, I guess. Can also have another usage, which is right, don't you agree? I thought you say that, according to the translations there in the online dictionary, but yeah. So actually, I think, but in the sense, yeah, I am actually pretty sure that's more sure than anything that's the case, but I'm actually want the other person to agree with me. So I kind of, yeah, it should be like that, shouldn't it? In a way, we could say in English. But yeah. And by the way, the accent, as mentioned before, changes depending on the two forms. We've seen that the one where daro and the show is the form in polite speech, are accented on the ro or the show, are the ones with the meaning right, and so on. The conjecture, actually, that stays low. We keep the accent of the verb if it's accented. Actually, in our case, that's the case. Or we add an accent on the last mora of the verb, if that isn't the case. If the accent can stay there, otherwise it moves one back. So in our case, if it were an accented, it couldn't stay on the n, because the accent can stay in there, move on the ra. But yeah, luckily in our case, oru already accented. So yeah. Orandarone. Well, actually, based on our also on that ne could be actually in the second sense, so actually we would have to add the accent of the ro But yeah, regardless. Last but not least, we have the final sentence particle ne. Right, isn't it? So yeah, also because of that, I guess it could be with that meaning. Yeah, so here is simply saying, as for the Arwin, it isn't, with the negative, it hasn't been destroyed. Well, that's clear. We could say, by extension, seriously damaged in this context, right? Then last but not least, General Pepper says, konosecta o nukereba makubesu da. Yeah, first we have kono, again this, in this case singular because we have after it secta, so yeah, this sectors Z. We should have seen before secta, but we'll check it again. I think simply accented like in English. Yes, it is on the sector. So yeah, secta, high, low, low. Low, technically. Reminder also that the U of the Q is barely heard, if at all, because it's between our voice consonants. Object particle O. Then we have the verb nukereba. From nukeru. And yeah, we have seen technically has several meanings, but yeah, the one here is to go through. Transitive, as in the sense, go through a place. Yeah, requires the object particle in that sense. Nukeru in general, unaccented. It is actually intransitive in other usages. So yeah, be careful about that. But yeah, it becomes transitive when it means go through, as in pass through a place. Yeah, so even more so we have confirmation that it's the meaning apart from the context. Root verb is a verb regardless, so we can change the U into E to then add ba. And so make one of the forms of the conditional in Japanese. This is technically the one closest we could say to a first conditional. We have seen it in practice, can also be other ones. We could say more in general, it's the most generic form of the conditional in Japanese. Conditional can also be temporal, similar to if, when in English. And yeah, last but not least, we have makubesu, which funny, I should be able to find also in the dictionary, because the online dictionary, because MACBETH. Here the name of course, of the planet, as we have seen also on the map. You might know also from other Star Fox games. Can find the accent still. My guess would be like in English on the map. Notice what I want to mention, the su, because Japanese doesn't have the th sound, so they replace it with the closest consonant, which is s, fricative, similar position, closest position. So also other than the usual additional vowels, because most consonants in Japanese can stay on their own. Last but not least, being a noun, we have the copula da, the usual one in plain speech here. So the translation here, if, in this case I would keep actually straight up the conditional technically, because it's not guaranteed. If you pass through this sector, literally it's MACBETH, there is, then you'll better there is in this case, despite in Japanese setup, it is MACBETH. You'll find yourself at MACBETH. So yeah, we've checked this, perfect. And we can actually start it.
Good luck.
Good luck. And yeah, stage 4. Let's defeat some enemies here, especially to not... not the best start, so we might not need it, but I still remind you really, especially for this, as much as possible, roll, do rolling in Japanese, as we have seen. I haven't seen everything Falco said, but it seems the usual stuff he says. I hit the enemy that was on his tail with my R-wing, unfortunately. I think, but yeah, he should be fine now. Yeah. Okay, we have to be careful about these rotating parts. I've already been kind of annoying in other parts, in other levels. Okay, no. I think we still have our... Okay, no, let's do it properly here. Yeah, if you start getting hit too much, then it becomes problematic. Okay, there I was not ready. Okay, so yeah, we can get then these and heal. Yeah, we have an enemy on Peppy's tail. Then I hit, immediately hit also him, but again, please move out of the way, Peppy. That's on you, not just me. Funny enough, in this game, apart from being way more reckless, let's say, Peppy, yeah, he also gets in the way even more than in 64. And but yeah, I can say it also based on straight up the experience of the remake that I'm currently playing on my own. So yeah. Okay. Let's avoid... let's deflect some projectiles here. Okay, there I rescued Sleepy somehow. Not sure how. Okay. Okay, let's continue here. Careful about these rotating platforms. As you've seen, those can be more dangerous than enemies. Okay, we're entering a base here. Here, yeah, you have to turn like that to avoid some getting hit. Okay, there I didn't do it in time myself. Okay, health is pretty common here. Yeah, honestly, apart from those rotating platforms, in which case I rewinded, but just to be sure. Yeah, I actually suspected it, forgot about it, but suspected it since we entered the base. Yeah, we have this kind of boss again. Similar, if not straight up identical. Well, apart from that, I guess it would be more aggressive. Okay, no. I don't want to get hit as much because you might have seen that I lost my Darwin was damaged this time by doing that. Okay, actually, you have to hit straight up there in the center. Okay, like that. Actually, might have been the case the first time and I didn't properly realize, but oh well. I'm not completely sure though. Okay, some rotations here until we stop and then we start moving. Well, it will start uncovering that once more. I think I might have to hit those some parts here. Ooh, okay, now that's bad though. Again, considering the difficulty of this level in general, yeah, I would rather not get hit like that. I have to be careful here about these parts though. With the rotation. Okay, I think I got hit too much again. Although it didn't look like it properly. So I think it, yeah, okay, the rotation, the weird rotation might have been just because of the place. So yeah, these keep on being kind of weird to me. Anyway, I destroyed that, which is a good thing. Anyway. Okay, yeah. Okay, I have less and less health, and no, I do think I have to hit these on the sides. Which I was doing at first. And that's what gets rid of these. Okay, let's be more careful about all the... Yeah, no, not like that. More careful about those parts that I got rid of, and then I hit. Yeah, you have to be careful about the projectiles, about also not hitting the walls, the sides. Okay, then I did so, but it started... Okay, I got it. Yeah, we did it. Funny enough, more than the stage itself, yeah, it's again this boss that causes some issues. But yeah, we did it. Stage 4 clear. Here I think they say the usual stuff. Yeah, they're all pretty healthy, funny enough. So if it continues like this, then everyone but Falco was down only in level 1. But yeah, regardless, here we have Macbeth. Yeah, let's tackle it. If we have time also for that. The planet Macbeth. Yeah, we have to check. First and foremost, General Pepper says, well, Fox-kun calls to us. Kono hoshi wa Kudo o Motsu. And there, yeah, now we can see a period, in this game simply a dot, so again, in Japanese usually actually a small circle in the bottom left corner. But yeah, because it would be, again, actually still be in the space of a square like kanji, kana, and so on. But yeah, that one smaller in the bottom left corner of a said square. But yeah, first and foremost, it says Konohoshi. So yeah, this star, but as we have seen, a star, then by extension also planet. The term we had straight up seen was let me find it again. Hoshi, as a reminder, we have studied this kanji even unaccented. Heavenly body, yeah, that's the more generic term. But yeah, star, fundamental meaning, and by extension also planet. Topic particle wa. And then we have this kudo. Not that, forgot a longer vowel to find it. Chinese compound, as usual. Wanted to check its accent. Well, it's worth mentioning that technically there's more than one. Based on the context, clearly, not a certain martial art form. No, it's simply the term cavity, hollow, then technically cave cavern, even though cave, but we have better term for that. Cavity would be the best one. Unaccented, although the do is actually found is the one for tokutsu, which is a term for cave story, also found in the title of that. Unaccented, okay, yeah, like most Chinese compounds. Object particle o, and then the verb motsu. In Zen, the fundamental meaning would be technically to hold in one's hands, and then by extension to possess, to have accented. And yeah, here is ready as is. So here is saying, yeah, as for this planet, says it up there that it's a planet. It possesses, it has cavities. I think that it can actually straight up be seen some of them there in the image there. I think there's those black spots on it are the cavities. Then he says, Andorfu ga Kitsyo tsukuru ni wa Kakko no hoshi da. I think it stops there actually. I suspect that the da is straight up simply the copula. I think it's missing the period there simply because they ran out of space. But yeah. Andorofu, Andoros, the Japanese name. Ga, subject particle. Kichi, yeah, we've already seen it in this very game. Chinese compound. Accent on the first more technically, if you follow the rule that, well, the E of ki is barely heard if at all. So if you follow the rule that you don't keep the accent on those, then it would move on the chi. Some might keep it, and that's why the dictionary also mentions the accent like that, kichi. But yeah, kichi. Base, military base, and yeah. We've seen it a lot, unsurprisingly, because yeah, Andros is always here. We have the object particle o, and then we have the verb tsukuru, in this case, simply. We've even studied one of its kanji. There are several ones. The fundamental one we've seen to make more in general. Other ones can be used for more specific ways of building, large-scale building, creating. But yeah, this one, we have studied the one that means that thanks to this very series, we have found the kanji here to make, to produce, to build, then, yeah, so in that sense. So here, Andros is constantly building military bases, as we have seen in this game. So yeah, we have seen this kichi a lot because of that. Tsukuru, as a reminder, accented. Well, verb, con verb, but yeah, doesn't matter here because after it you have ni wa. Ni, the particle here, to, as in order to, for, we could also say, so with a final meaning, final clause technically, well, simply for. In English, I'd say, yeah, to build, for building, simply. Then the topic particle y again. Then we have kakko, Chinese compound. Can have different meanings depending on the kanji used. Well, in this case, it's actually the most common one, although not in the. We'll see in a second, but yeah, the most common one, which is should be this one, kakko, unaccented. Technically, we combine the kanji with kaku and then ko by the u of kaku falls, and so simply becomes the following, the double constant k. Yeah, literally kak ko. So yeah, kakko, unaccented, Chinese compound. So unsurprisingly, okay. The fundamental meanings usually are shape, form, figure, posture, pose, appearance, style, state, situation, and these are the usages as a noun, but it can also be used as an adjective, or technically a noun which takes the genitive case particle, the possessive particle no, to make in practice an adjective despite the difference, the structure. And yeah, like in our case here, we have a kakko no. And yeah, so its meaning in that case makes sense by extension from those meanings we have mentioned. Suitable, fit, technically reasonable, but yeah, better I say suitable, fit. Yeah, so we have here in the noun plus possessive particle structure, but yeah, in practice still an adjective, so yeah, suitable, fit. Hoshi again, so yeah, planet. It's a noun, hoshi, so yeah, we have the copula in plain speech star here at the end. So here is saying that yeah, it's a suitable fit planet for building, better for Andros, so that we can adapt it also that way, so that Andros for Andros to build bases. Yeah, then last but not least we have kichi no kensetsu o kanarazu ya soshi shite kure. Okay, first we have kichi again, possessive particle no, so of the bases. Kensetsu, we have already seen the term in this very series. Surprisingly, because again, Andros is keeping on doing this. Kensetsu, Chinese compound, unaccented, it means construction, establishment. Cioè, the construction of bases, object particle O. Kanarazu ya, technically. I wonder if I straight up find it also with the additional ya. Yes, I can find it also in the dictionary. Technically, kanarazu on its own is already an adverb. Originally, also based on that azu from a verb in the negative with this negative auxiliary zu. But yeah, nowadays simply considered an adverb. With the meaning based on that origin without exception, without fail. So yeah, then we can simply say certainly, necessarily, invariably. Yeah, with this ya at the end, ya, as we have seen, in standard Japanese has the meanings as a particle, such things as and used for non-exhaustive lists. As another meaning, but that doesn't interest us here. I wanted to incidentally mention it also is in Kansai dialect the copula. So instead of da, we have ya. But yeah, here, regardless of its actual origin, by adding this ya, yeah, doesn't particularly change the meaning of this kanarazu ya. Is still certainly, surely, definitely, I'd say adds some emphasis. But yeah, regardless. And in that case, I suspect it could actually be the copula found in Kansai dialect or something along those lines. But regardless. What's worth mentioning, on the other hand, is kanarazu on its own unaccented. This becomes accented on the zu itself. So yeah, kanarazu ya. So yeah, I actually suspect it might be accented in general on the last mora, but usually it's not heard because you use kanarazu on its own. But adding ya, you can hear the accent. But that I can confirm. The dictionary technically mentions an accent kanarazu ya, accent on the zu. Yeah, so certainly. And then we have this soshi, which I would say should be like that on its own. Okay, yeah. No, I think I might have heard it. I've at the very least seen the kanji on their own or in other actually better compounds. The shi is the one we have already studied. It's kanji, the one with the strictly Japanese readings, tomeru, tomaru, also yameru, even better in this case, yamu. Reminded that the meaning in general is to stop movement. In the case of the first verbs, strictly Japanese verbs I mentioned, stop an activity in the remaining two. But yeah. So yeah, unsurprisingly with this other verb, other kanji, which means thwart, obstruct, and so on. This Chinese compound, soshi, accent on the first mora, so yeah, one of those, means obstruction, prevention, hindrance, and so on, blocking, stopping, straight up. Chinese compound, a noun, and yeah, we can turn it into a verb by adding suru, to do. Completely irregular verb, as we have seen before, so we have to remember that its continuative form is she. Then luckily you can simply attach the te to make that a form. Last but not least, we have already seen it before, kure, in this very series from kureru, verb of giving, to give. When someone gives to the speaker or someone close to the speaker, unaccented on its own, after that a form of a verb, it gets the meaning to do the favor of doing the action of the verb in te. We have seen that the peculiarity of this kureru, which is a ru verb, it's a verb, but yeah, has this peculiarity that it's imperative form in plain speech. We simply drop the ru to make it. So yeah, this kure is actually the imperative form of it. Usually that's not the case for ru verbs, system verbs, but yeah, simply remember that it's like this. So yeah, here is saying do the favor of doing the action of the verb. So yeah, simply do in the action of the verb. So here in the translation, yeah, do the favor of obstructing, of blocking, even better, in our case here, of stopping, certainly, for sure, the construction of the basis. We have heard our mission here.
Good luck.
We can start MACBETH. Yeah, the difference compared to Star Fox 64 is of course that yeah, here we are playing it with the Arwing. Maybe better in some ways, but we'll see. And we see also how difficult this one is. Well, luckily there aren't the things to do like in Star Fox 64 or its remake. Well, in the remake actually I found it way easier than in the original personally. And I don't think it's straight up simple experience because yeah, actually my experience with Star Fox 64 is relatively limited. So yeah, I think at least personally so far the remake does help, which is good considering that I want to try also the higher difficulty, even though I'm not sure how that will go, but yeah. Also, by the way, yeah, I'm playing it quite slowly. So the games I'm currently playing on my own. So yeah, quite a beating. So I'm actually still in the middle of my first campaign. Yeah, I've actually just tackled MACBETH. Haven't played it this week yet, so maybe I hopefully finish my first campaign this week. Yeah. Not sure if we'll be able to finish also this one today. We'll see. Would be great considering that yeah, otherwise we would have only. Well, actually, I have to remember that anyway okay, this doesn't help for sure. Be careful here. I have to remember that reminder, and we've seen before here it's there that they start shooting me a lot. A lot of projectiles around here. You have to be careful also. Did I mention that the cavities come also with these volcanoes or something similar to those? But yeah. Yeah, we technically have... okay, let's be careful here. We have the boss. Okay, yeah, we have to hit these on the sides. Okay, one destroyed, perfect. And then, of course, it starts rotating way faster. This one, now it's trying to follow me, I think. Okay, no, it actually changed from simply. Yeah, there's the matter actually of the two stages on Venom. We'll see. Since we have still time, we could check at the very least the briefing. Unless that is actually more similar or identical to previous ones. I don't think so. Oh yeah, this stage actually pretty cleared. Some weird spots, some more difficult spots, but honestly, still not as bad as I thought. But yeah, with that we got to Venom. And yeah, let's at the very least check the briefing here. Venom, the final goal again. Okay, I think there are differences, so we'll have to check it. We can see it though by comparing it with the previous one. Okay, this one says this. Okay, no, I actually think it might be the same. Let's see. Okay, this should be... no, okay, no, it is different. Wonder if also compared to... yeah, no, they are all different, surprisingly, but yeah. So, let's check out here the briefing at the very least. Yeah, here General Pepper says, first and foremost, O Kimitachi ga kokomade yaruto wa. Okay, first and foremost, O, again, the exclamation O. Kimitachi. Yeah, first and foremost, Kimi, that we should have seen before. I think maybe also Kimitachi, but in this series, we don't think actually so, because we have seen other expressions of this for this. Yeah, Kimi, unaccented, second person singular pronoun, you, in the singular. Familiar language, sometimes considered also male language. Here we make it into the plural you. We specify it by adding tachi, the usual pluralizing suffix. As we have seen, lucky, the accent of words when adding tachi is always before tachi itself, as we have seen especially a lot in Super Mario World. Kimitachi, low, high, low, low. Subject particle ga. Koko, part of the Kosodo series, with the ko, this place, so simply here. We have the particle made, up to, can be, and by the way, Coco unaccented as usual for those words. So actually, when we add made should be accent on the first mora. So yeah, keep that in mind. Made means up to, both as in place, so yeah, up to, as far as a certain place, or up to as in until a certain time, so yeah, both location or temporal meaning, locative or temporal meaning. Then we have the verb yaru, which we have seen fundamental meaning to do. Yeah, it's the colloquial form of suru, still also unaccented. Has several extended meanings, and based on the context here, even if I don't straight up find it in the dictionary here, it will be like make in English, as in you made it, you to a certain place, to a certain point. Then we have this to wa as the particle, well, a double particle. Yeah, to is the usual one. Technically with, both as the quoting particle or simply with someone, something, and so on. We have already seen it. With the topic particle wa after it, while it can also be used with the usage, also with the expression to you know wa, even better, that's more clear technically, to define, indicates a word or phrase being defined. But yeah, here I think simply the particle to, when we add this wa, it becomes more emphatic. Actually, I suspect it could be also a wa required technically by a negative verb after, although in this case it's actually implied, because I suspect in this case it's implied. I didn't think you would make it, and so on. So implied that homo wanakatta in plain speech. In plain speech here, he uses plain speech. So yeah, it should be that. So technically here we have the quotation of what he didn't think would happen. And so yeah, the topic particle, one of its usage as with negative verbs. Technically we consider to put more the focus, because what's before the wa is technically given information. The focus is more than on the verb, on what's after. So in this case, the negative, that the verb is in the negative. So that's why we have this usage of the topic particle wa. But yeah, so here is saying, implied I didn't think you would make it, you plural, will make it up to here. Thank you for the vote of confidence, General Pepper. But yeah, then he says, Andorufu o taosu no wa, yahari kimi no shukume datta no kamoshiren. Stop there. Andorf, as usual, object particle o. Taosu, we should have seen it also before in this very series. Fundamental meaning would be technically to throw, bring, blow, down. Knock also, down, to fall. By extension then to defeat, to kill, to beat. In our case, that clearly defeat Andros. Then after it, by the way, they mentioned the accent also accented. After it, we have the no here as in the nominalizer for verbs. After it, the topic particle wa. Then we have Yahari, an alternative form of Yappari. Despite the original form was Yappari, and then they followed the rules backwards to make this Yahari. But yeah, regardless, both accented on the pa or ha. So yeah, before the ri, surprisingly, yeah, it's one of the usual terms in ri. We've seen technically onomatopoeias usually, but yeah. This one means as expected, sure enough, just as one thought, as one would expect, so also after all, in the end. But yeah. Then we have kimi, you. After it, no as the possessive particle, so actually your. Shukume, Chinese compound. We check its accent. It means fate, destiny, predestination. Yeah. Destiny, so unaccented, like most Chinese compounds, as we have seen. After it, that, the past form of the copula. After that, it doesn't stop because we have the no. Again, technically the nominalizer in this case, required to then attach kamo shiren. Well, no, actually not required technically, because yeah, you should be able to use kamo shiremasen, kamo shiren, kamo shirenai immediately. But yeah, so we have this no also in the middle. But yeah, let's focus on the expression. We have seen it before. I don't remember if also in this very series. Kamo shiren. First we have ka, the interrogative particle. Here, actually more used as in, technically, we have a question, but an indirect one. In English would be actually be an if, but in that usage. Then we have mo, the inclusive particle, also even. Last but not least, we have shiren. Comes from shiru, to know. Should be unaccented, we've seen it before. Also, thanks to this very expression, yes, unaccented. U-verb, going verb, so we can change the U into E and then add ru. Here ru can be seen because of further conjugation, to make the potential form of the verb can know. Potential form is a ru verb, it's a verb, so we can drop the ru to make the continuative form. Well, actually, in this case, the negative base of the verb, and yeah, to then add this n, which again is a contraction of a negative auxiliary. In contemporary Japanese, in less contracted speech, you would find in plain speech kamo shire nai, simply with nai, as usual. In polite speech, masen, the negative form of mas, the auxiliary used for polite to make a verb polite. But yeah, here we have this, but yeah, the meaning is the same. So yeah, literally, can't even know if, and then there's the rest of the sentence. So yeah, this expression, kamo shirenai, kamo shirimasen, because of that, literal meaning, it then simply means may, might, perhaps, possibly. So yeah, here is saying, as for defeating Andorf, it was possibly your destiny after all. And yeah, then last but not least, we have this Kento o Inoru Foxu, which this I'm pretty sure we have seen before, and that was why I wasn't completely sure about it. Kento, there are more than one, as we have seen before. This one, unaccented Chinese compound, is the one that means fighting bravely, strenuous efforts, object particle o, Inoru, to pray, then by extension simply to wish, to hope. Should be accented if I recall correctly. Yes, it is. Last but not least, simply fox. So yeah, here I wish, I hope for your fighting bravely, strenuous efforts, fox. Okay. We will try to also play these stages. Hopefully they won't take too long.
Good luck.
Okay, let's see. Fortunately, of course, technically we have also the credits if we get to them. Yeah, we'll give it a try. We see that this takes too much time, then we might keep the final stage, because as a reminder, yeah, there are two here, but we'll try. Because otherwise we would have to play... okay, there... I think we have seen it before. Funny enough, considering the meaning. Maio mitero yo. Look ahead, said Falco. There's the matter also that there might be additional, there should be, I guess, additional dialogue for Andorf. Okay, at worst, I think we might keep the final stage for next time, so we have more time to actually start another series immediately after. But yeah, we'll see. First, let's tackle at the very least this one, since we have already started it. Okay, there, I'm not sure if I took Sleepy down myself. Oh yeah, sorry, but I'm not rewinding for Sleepy. I'm sorry, but yeah, no. The show must go on. Literally. Okay, too bad that I missed that health. Hopefully I won't... Okay, I got this one, so I didn't regret it. Yeah, lucky. Yeah, you might have noticed that I'm rolling as much as possible here. Considering all these projectiles. Yeah, in English, I'm doing barrel rolls. Okay. Okay, this was weird. I didn't expect that to happen, but it still isn't. Okay, I think it might be combining now, and then we'll get the. Yeah, it looked like a boss, but it didn't start. It's combining here. Okay. Okay, and I've seen. Okay, let's actually try to get at least some hits. Yeah, you can see that there we have the. Okay, no, I couldn't get them anyway. Let's try to get them when we go back. But yeah, I think yeah, it's it should be the glowing parts on it there. That also open and close constantly there, as you have seen. So quite annoying. Okay, let's see. Is that me? Okay, no, I did get some damage in there. Oof, got also damaged myself though. Okay, no, I was damaged anyway there with the wingers. Doesn't matter. It's unfortunate, but yeah. Okay, no, there I don't think I hit anything. Let's see if I want to see how to properly hit. I would use bombs, but okay, in this case the bomb actually was useful, unless I somehow hit. It wasn't, and then I simply hit that, but I think it might have been the bomb. Okay, yeah, I can see why, because yeah, they do hit that. Okay. Well, we finally found a really good usage for the bombs. I honestly don't hesitate to use them. Well, of course, apart from there. In this case, I didn't hit absolutely anything at all. Also because it's actually straight up not open at this here. Okay. Okay, I see. I'm open there. Okay, I might have. Let's see if by simply waiting there. Nope. Okay, there's something weird going on here. And I opened there, but I was... okay, there I did it. There is still a little something here. I think it's still on that side, unless it opened something in the center. No, it's still here. Okay, let's be careful about the hits, and we should be golden here. Especially if I use a bomb. Yeah, first and foremost, I have to be careful not to die, though. Okay. I think I got it. Although the stage hasn't ended, at least currently. Okay, might be... okay, now. It was simply because of the sequence there. But yeah, sleepy down. Oh well. Okay, we'll try to tackle also the final stage then. At worst, I'll simply translate what Andros says. Keep the explanation simpler. The minimum, but we'll see. Oh no, okay. We'll try to do everything that Yeah, these pillars keep on being our worst enemies. Okay, here, let me... okay, let's see if I can get these. Okay, got it. Perfect. So we have this protection. Quite useful here. But would have been more useful before the end of that part. Okay, kind of looks like you can shoot these, but at the same time they don't seem to do anything. Maybe you can make them fall sooner. Okay, someone on Peppy's tail, but sorry, I need the health first. Then I can tackle that. Okay, I got it. Okay, we are fine for now. Please, Peppy, move away. Okay, there I have to be careful though about this nonsense. Yeah, these open like that in the direction according to the arrow. Okay, perfect. Finally got also power up. Okay, there. Okay, the good news is that actually the shield, you keep it unless you get hit. So actually let's be careful about not losing it. Well, there, too bad. There I caused it myself. Okay, more easier said than done with all this nonsense going on. Okay, let's try to rewind here. Okay. No, that I can't. I think my problem here is that these actually... yeah, these... there I'm too late, but yeah, these stop when you shoot them. Okay, that I finally managed to get. Yeah, no, these one are the ones you switch. Okay, perfect. No, okay, it was still... okay. Yeah, I would, if I could, without dying myself. Okay, there. Let's rewind a little more. Okay, then I should be... okay, I got it. Yeah, Peppy's about to die also. Funny enough, I think we'll get again Falco on his own. Oh well. Well, unless I lose Falco here because of this enemy. Okay, I think I got it. Well, then we got someone else. No. Okay. Through that. Okay. I would like the health first and foremost. Thank you. Okay, I think we have the boss here. Yes. Yeah, again, this ship. Okay, here transforming like this. Now it's straight up a robot. Okay. Okay, I thought it was there, but actually it's down here, the weak point. Yeah, it's clearly down there. Try to get as many hits without getting hit here as possible. Have to be careful about they kind of look like bubbles, but I think they're more like cannonballs or something like that. Okay, we really have to be more careful here from this point onwards. When it starts shooting them so wildly, and then get as many hits as we can. More than rolling here, it's a matter of moving. Although of course then it's more difficult to get some hits ourselves in there, like there. Okay, no, I'll simply wait. Be careful here. Okay, there. I'm not even sure where it, how it got me. Maybe the ground at that point. I'm not sure. Okay, there. Then we have a barrage of them. Avoided them. Please, 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 please. Okay, no. Here I have to be careful about this one. Well, also those ones on the right. So actually to the left. Way faster. Unfortunately we are missing some hits, but it's worth it to survive. Okay, here. Avoid that. Okay, this we should. Okay, not sure if rolling works, and I simply got the timing bad. Okay. Okay, let's be careful. There. And we can do like this. Okay. Okay. Oh boy, and then this also has the health. Okay. Okay. We should be almost fine here. Well, unless I get a hit at the very last moment like that. Okay. Perfect. So also this is down. And we enter the base. Hello. Yeah, we're continuing beyond our usual time because yeah, at this point I'm trying to finish the game. Okay, we got that. Let me at the very least I want to still translate here. We have the moo which is here more as in for surprise or then we have itsunomani, usually itsunomani ka. Well, actually in this case itsunomani is when. Itsunomani ka is the expression usually found for before one realizes. Literally we have itsu, when, possessive particle no, ma, space, interval, and so on. And then the ni as the particle in at a specific moment. Koko again here. Made, up to. Kita from kuru, to come, kuru completely irregular, just like suru, keys its continuative form, and then simply to attach the ta, make the ta form of the verb kita, came, has come. Yeah, here is saying when, well, in more strictly speaking, technically, during the interval of when, in the interval of when, yeah, simply then when in English, did you come up to here? Okay. And then we get this omae no oyaji mo muteppo datta ga. Omae, another, we've seen it before, second person singular pronoun, so you in the singular. This one familiar language, male term or language, formerly honorific, nowadays very informal, unaccented, omae. Then we have the possessive particle no, so actually your, of you, so yeah, your. Oyaji is a term for father, compound technically from oya, which means parent in general, accent on the last mora. Ji is a contraction of chi, which means father, it's the animal form for father. So that G actually was chi with the duck 10 original, but yeah, nowadays simply written as oya G with the she with the duck 10, as we can see here. Yeah, most certainly that the origin, unaccented. Yeah, this one is familiar language, by the way. So yeah, pops, we could say one's father, one's old man, pops. Mod, inclusive particle also even. Then we have this muteppo. Which is a compound. This one of 3 kanji. Well, teppo on its own, an accented Chinese compound of 2 kanji. Gun, firearm. So yeah, then we had mu before it as a prefix. Yeah, the kanji we have studied with the meaning non-existent. Also, as the strictly Japanese reading, nai, yeah, the usual adjective we have seen. Nowadays, that usually written with kana alone, but yeah. So, literally without guns, firearms. So yeah, it's actually an adjective with the meaning rash, reckless. An adjective, so yeah, then we can we have the copula da in the past form, datta. Last but not least, ga at the end, so yeah, the usual but. Here, most likely, the sentence will actually continue after the interruption. Otherwise, it could be that there's something implied, but yeah, no, I think it will continue here. After getting through these without dying. Easier said than done with all this nonsense. Okay, let's rewind and do it properly. Okay, let's hit here, please. Since I do think we should find some healing, but at least I hope we'll find some healing. Oof. Okay, we actually didn't find some healing, so let me rewind, because yeah, we're not... Okay, I don't think I can turn there, so yeah, actually... Okay, no, I have to simply be more careful with my positioning. So here, first one. I say that, and then it's not easy though, because you might have noticed that it's actually pretty fast. Okay, this up to here we actually did well. Okay, I got some hits, but we have some more leeway this way. Okay, here we have this. Okay, got it. Here, Andros says, Korega, omeni totte saigo no tatakai da. Kore, part of the course of the series, the demonstrative pronoun this stops there, so yeah, is the pronoun, subject particle ga, omae again. Then we have this ni totte. Technically we have the particle ni plus totte from toru, to take. But yeah, nowadays considered simply an expression which has the meaning to, for, from the standpoint of, as far as is concerned. So yeah, for you. Then we have saigo, Chinese compound, one of those with the sai, so most something. Go, last means, so, well, after in general. This one accented on the first mora. Other ones we have seen unaccented. But yeah, this one accented on the first mora, so the second most common accent. Cioè, most after, so actually last, final. Also then simply end the conclusion. And no, in our case, last, final, and yeah, it's a noun that can take the possessive particle no to make an adjective in practice. Last but not least, tatakai, yeah, from tatakau to fight, unaccented, change the u into e to make the continuative form and so corresponding noun. But yeah, we've seen it a lot also in the other, in Fire Red. Last but not least, being a noun, we have the copula da. So here is saying, yeah, it's this is your last fight. And yeah, literally, it's final boss. We try to defeat it. Yeah, for now, same as usual. So I've seen, we have to be careful about the projectiles here. Okay. Okay, I wonder if I fear that without any way we will die. Well, I won't hesitate to rewind in this case. Okay. However, one eye is taken care of. And yeah, at this point I'm really trying to simply finish the game as fast as possible. Let's be careful there. Ooh. Okay, this is really sad that yeah, you can get hit there by those coming towards, as you have seen. Yeah, that's why I was dying there. Let's be careful about these. Let's be careful about that final one. Okay, destroyed the eyes. And so yeah, we got the usual cube here. Although... Okay, not here. Ah, okay. Yeah, it's actually here. Yeah, it changes. Yeah, this is the true Andros. The true form. Well, apart from this external one, apart from the one inside, which is Andros stepped up himself. What's interesting is that in this form it doesn't absorb, so yeah, it's straight up shooting stuff at us and that's it. Which honestly makes it somewhat easier in a way. Okay, with that we can start to shoot. Let's try to shoot as much as possible here. Okay, change the color. I think it will, yeah, it goes back. I think it's straight up, you can't defeat it immediately there. Okay, let's be careful here though. Let's not die right at the very end there. Okay. And then, of course, I defeat the eye, but then I get hit by one of the remaining tiles. Okay. Please tell me that this is the final hits required. Yes, it seems like it. Perfect. And yeah, with this, Andros has been defeated. We are exiting as usual. Luckily, no escape sequence has been played that we have to play it. The explosions, but yeah, we've seen them before. Aircraft report. Yeah, they say the usual stuff, luckily. So yeah, here we have the final sequence. Here, yeah, only Slippy down, funny enough. Yeah, better than level 1. Not as good as level 2, but yeah, considering that it's more difficult, it's fine. Here we should hear soon enough. Ah no, okay, we have a stage. Yeah, our results. Okay. Yeah, not bad apart from stage 2, but yeah. Makes sense also considering the whole matter of stage 2. Nice. Okay. Yeah, with rewinding, yeah, our purpose here was fully playing the game and checking out the Japanese, so yeah. Oh.
This is Cornelia. Pepper speaking. Congratulations on a job well done.
Roger. I'm heading back to Cornelia.
But yeah, the usual lines straight up in English, these ones. Yeah, cool. Oh yeah, last but not least, we have first we have the bosses, the boss list, Distractor, yeah, this one was new for Cornelia. This one was the famous weapon they were okay, I don't remember if I stepped up new the name Blade Barrier, but yeah, the deflects. This creature, pretty funny. Monarch Todora. My guess would be from Dodo simply. And then potentially there are of the pluralizing suffix because it has 2 heads, but that's just a guess on the fly. Atomic base 2. Okay, and it was different compared to the previous one, I think, in some ways. Not completely sure, since like it's been a while since we have tackled it. Yeah, then we had these. The spinning core. This one was the biggest pain. Good thing I had the bombs. The Great Commander. And yeah, then we have this. Still Great Commander. Padded form there, and yeah, Andros. Andorf would say here. Well, suspension dots, I guess it might show the other form here. Okay, no. Still doesn't show it. Oh yeah, then we get the credits. We'll just make them running when we have seen them before, just for it to be complete. And yeah, after this we should be fine. Yeah, we went way past our usual time. But yeah, I wanted to finish the game, finish level 3, and so actually this series today. So yeah, as soon as this ends, we'll close the game, and yeah, we'll end this stream, and yeah, again, this series. Oh yeah, the usual stuff here, but yeah, nothing to say about it, and also to avoid potentially disturbing my neighbors here. Koji combo there, of course, still involved. Argon software. Yeah, the super effects that made this possible. Really, really cool. And yeah, soon enough, the credits should end. Japanese support, and yeah, so other than the music you can hear we're getting close to the end. Other than you might step up and remember it as well. Yep, it is the end, and no shooting in the alternative bad ending. Oh yeah, the score. We can't do anything, I'm pretty sure here. Yeah, I can't press anything. I still save here just to have it. Perfect. So we can close the game. And yes, so today we finished level 3. And so, Star Fox, the Super Famicom Star Fox in general. So next time, which for this series should be on Wednesday as usual, unless plans change, we start a new Let's Learn Japanese with series. In the middle, of course, we'll have the usual Fire Red streams on Friday and Monday. On Sunday, again, mostly just for fun. I'm thinking, actually, the multiplayer of the new Star Fox, but we'll see. But yeah, so on Wednesday, a new series. if it's a Zelda game, it won't be A Link to the Past because I've discovered that it actually has a lot of kanji, so yeah, that will have to wait. So we'll move on to Link's Awakening Deluxe. Or something else, but we'll see. And yeah, see you next time.